The Senate Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs was scheduled to hold a public hearing on the Impeachment Procedure Bill. This comes at a time when debate rages on over immunity of governors, even as legal institutions prefer to execute the provisions of Chapter 6 across all positions of public leadership. Our senior parliamentary reporter Patrick Amimo is following up on this story. He now joins us live from our from Parliament. Patrick, we understand that members of the public have failed to heed for the call to just appear and give their views on this particular bill. Where does this leave the process?
Thank you, Akisa. This particular impeachment bill 2018 was proposed by Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei, who also happens to be the chair of the Senate's Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights Committee. And today they were scheduled to receive public opinions and also receive memoranda with regard to this particular bills before it's enacted. The bill aims to introduce, at least to harmonize procedures of impeaching those either the president, deputy president and cabinet secretaries at the national level. And when we go to the county level, then these procedures will be harmonized on how to impeach the governor, deputy governor, and those members of the county executive committees who are like our CSS at the county level. So this particular bill is informed by the fact that during the last parliament, we saw at least 3 governors facing impeachment motions, and there was confusion on the procedure that used and also matters threshold, what would really stand to be seen as a threshold to impeach, to bring that impeachment motion against a governor. We saw also during last parliament, we saw members of the county assemblies trying to threaten governors with impeachment if they don't cede to their ground, especially when it comes to budgeting and especially the money that could go towards and all that. So it was an avenue that was being abused, and I think this one is why it's informed Cherargei to come up with a harmonized bill that will guide the processes both at the national level and county level. And some of these issues that could lead to impeachment of either a president and or a governor could do whether with a gross misconduct. Another area will be the gross violation of the Constitution and or the law. And another area that also might attract impeachment is to do with that a gross violation of the international law by either the president and or the governor. But now this particular matter is also well handled in our Constitution. There's a provision to impeach the president, but the final say on impeaching the president lies with the Senate. So under this particular bill, it is that a member of parliament who comes up with such a motion will have to get support from at least a third of members of that National Assembly. Then if that bill, that number is met, then that particular motion, request will be sent to the Speaker of the National Assembly to confirm with regard to those signatures whether they meet the 1/3 threshold of members present. Then the Speaker also now this time round with the bill has immense powers to look at that particular motion and see whether it meets the threshold or not. If it meets the threshold, then the Speaker will submit the bill the motion to the floor of the House within 7 days for members to debate. And if it happens that this particular motion is passed, then the Senate has at least the Speaker will take it to the Senate for also approval. But then for it to pass, it has to garner support from 2/3 of members of the National Assembly before it proceeds to the Senate. And at the Senate level also, the Speaker of the Senate will also have that authority to scrutinize the bill and see whether it meets the threshold and or not. If it meets the threshold, then it will proceed. The Speaker could decide to form a joint select committee of 11 members to scrutinize this particular bill, welcome views from those members of parliament who canvass the motion, and also the president will be allowed to attend that particular session, that particular committee when it is sitting, and or he has the option of being represented by a lawyer. So that is the way this particular bill has been tailored. And should the Senate then be convinced that there are enough grounds to impeach the president or the deputy president, then with the support of 2/3 of members in the Senate, then it means that once that motion is passed, the president will be forced to leave office because now the Senate has decided so. So it is a bill that the members of the Senate are very, very eager to have the public views on. Today they were expecting to have the Attorney General on, and also members from the Council of Governors to come and give their views, because as the county governments are the most affected with these particular impeachment motions. But unfortunately, none of these two institutions and also the Kenya Law Reform Commission did not appear before the committee. And now it's given members of the public on July 31st another chance to appear before them and present their views with regard to how we can impeach these top CEOs at both the national level and the county level levels of government. So this is it. Members of the public will have another opportunity. But probably what might have probably led for members of the public maybe not to give this particular invitation a keen interest, maybe I think it could be due with the the just concluded World Cup, where most focus was on the World Cup, and people maybe did not really keep the data with the Senate that this particular day they were supposed to come before the Senate and give their views. Akisa.
Patrick, thank you. And there, Patrick Amimo saying members of the public have once again been given another chance for July the 31st to